In this video I get plenty of drone practice. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it now, but hope it's not too much for you. But every opportunity now I am getting out there and flying the drone. We go under an amazing bridge at the head of the Corinth Gulf, and one of those amazing engineering structures that pretty much has changed that whole region. Unfortunately, we made a bad decision. We had one hell of a day. Find out what happened there. We do some more med mooring at beautiful villages around Greece. Just amazing. And if you didn't get enough, some more drone footage. I think I'm getting quite good at it, actually. Enjoy. In our last episode, we finished off just leaving Galaxidy, and in this episode, we're stopping at a number of places, Nafpaktos, which you'll just love, and we eventually end up in Vathy. I'm going to do quite a bit of videoing with the drone. I want to practice, but what I want is some feedback from you guys as to, is it too much, too long, not enough? What do you want to see? What don't you want to see? Do you want it with music? Don't you want it with music? So anyway, here we are in Nafpaktos. So the fortress at Nafpaktos actually dates back to BC, around about 4 centuries before Christ, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. And it's very strategically located because it's right at the head of the Gulf of Corinth, or the Corinth Gulf, and all these ramparts leading all the way up to the castle that you'll see soon were effectively fortifications to defend the naval base at the bottom. Some unbelievably strategic battles were fought around this area. So it's been going on for centuries and centuries, and it's still in pretty much amazing condition, to be honest. And now obviously it's preserved and well looked after and a little bit overgrown, if nothing else. But this town, Nafpaktos, was almost wiped out with an epidemic or a pandemic from Italy. It's been held by, obviously, the Athenians, the Ottomans, the Venetians, battles for centuries, changing hands for centuries. But the people in the area apparently are amazingly proud of their history. They see them as being incredibly important for all naval battles in Greece, and effectively helping win Greece and turn it into the modern Greece that it is today. So it was pretty amazing to be able to fly the drone over here, actually, and it's probably taught me 2 things. One is try and fly the drone as continuously as possible, so you're not stopping, starting, because it gets picked up in the video. And I've just got to learn how to find a point of interest, or to create waypoints which you can actually do and get it to fly that. And then that way you're not stopping, starting, zooming in, zooming out, going fast, going slow. And I'm thinking you're probably going to pick it up in the video. So anyway, let me know what you think. Yeah, the biggest thing is, I suppose, is there too much of it? But in this episode, there's 2 really good, what I think are drone shoots. So yeah, give me some feedback, eh?
0, 1. Let's get started.
It's okay. Don't panic. Okay, so today we're just leaving here at Nafpaktos. Got some great drone footage there, and we're heading up basically to the exit of the Corinth Gulf. So we'll just put the auto route in just to keep it easy at the moment. Don't want the autopilot, and so we've got 16.5 miles to get there. May go a little bit further, we'll wait and see. But the first thing we've got to deal with is the Rion-Antirion bridge, and in the Garmin system there, it's
Rion traffic, they've got summertime, yacht summertime, over. Summertime, radio traffic.
Okay, so get rid of that volume. We've got to contact the Rion-Antirion bridge control on channel 14, so we did that, and what they've said they want us to do is to go through with 1 pylon on the starboard side, which is here, and 3 pylons on the port side, which is quite a clever system really, because that makes it pretty obvious. So there's pylon 4, there's pylon 3, so I'm just going to put a point there. We'll go auto guidance to there, and save previous path, no. Okay, don't know why it's doing that. Let's just see what it does. No, don't like that. Let's cancel that. We are going to go in and we're going to try again. Pylon 4, so we'll just stick that in there. Auto guidance, there we go. Save previous path, no. Start navigation, and then the autopilot will come up. No, we don't want it to go on the autopilot. So there's our track there, and pretty amazing bridge, to be honest. I'll take you outside in a minute. It's a little bit windy out there. So there's 4 massive pillars, and it goes right across the top of the Corinth Gulf. And if I zoom out there, you can see it. So down the eastern end is the Corinth Canal, and we've come all the way up there, and we're now trying to go out the top of it. So you can see how big the Corinth Gulf is, and it's a massive bridge, but what it does is basically connect the whole southern area to the northern area, or the rest of Greece effectively. So if we zoom right out, you can see it there. We're down here. So here's Greece all the way up there, all the way across here, and the Peloponnesian Peninsula out to the east. So you know, when you come to travel times, that would make an absolutely massive difference. So yeah, it should be an interesting day. We'll stop panning, we can get everything back into perspective again, otherwise it gets a little bit confusing. And we've got shadow drive in at the moment, so no, it just jumped over to heading hold. So basically if we put the autopilot in, and then we can turn the steering, say to port, it goes into shadow drive, and once we go back to the neutral position and it's happy on the new heading, the autopilot just re-engages in heading mode. So you don't have to keep changing the heading on the autopilot if you don't want to. You can do it via the wheel, but I find, to be honest, it's just a hell of a lot easier to do it directly on the autopilot system itself, and it does seem quite slow to engage again at times. So yeah, that can take a little bit. Anyway, we're basically heading in the right direction there. I'll just quickly take you out and show you. There you go, it's gone heading hold again. Heading hold down there, and we'll show you the bridge. Hopefully you can make that out in the distance, but if not, we'll capture it as we come up to it and go under it anyway. Slight problem today when we went off the anchorage. For some reason the bow thruster wasn't working very well at all. It would engage. It's electric, not hydraulic. Hydraulic probably would have been the preferred option, but it wasn't an option. Yeah, so we're just going to have to work out what's going on there, because obviously for the med mooring it's pretty critical. So if it's not working, it almost limits us, if there's any wind at all, to being at an anchorage or side on. But yep, we'll get on top of it, work out what the problem is, and hopefully it's just a simple fix if there is in fact something wrong with it. So the Rion-Antirion bridge opened in 2004, about a week ahead of the Greek Olympic Games. Pretty much an engineering marvel. It's 2.5 kilometres long, 55 metres above the water level, so obviously pretty much any ship can get under there. But it's arguably the longest suspension bridge in the world. It's disputed, gets into pretty technical details trying to work out whether it is or whether it isn't. And those piles that you can see there, they actually go down to the seabed, but they're not anchored right deep into it because of earthquakes. So they essentially are just these huge structures that are on the ground down there, and then pipes are driven into the ground, and that just allows there to be 200 pipes actually per pillar, and that just allows a little bit of movement if ever there was an earthquake. And also they get up to 70 knot winds or 120 kilometre per hour winds blowing through here as well. So she's pretty amazing structure to look at as you're coming up to it actually. And they've got all types of equipment over it, just checking it for movement. The Corinth Gulf is actually moving apart by about 30 millimetres a year, so they've got systems in place to try and cover that as well. But yeah, amazing, and effectively changed that part of Greece forever. It's great, eh? As soon as the stabilisers are fixed, it's flat calm. That is quite a bluff, and looks like a lovely town in the background, and in fact it's got a good anchorage there according to the navionics. I reckon it's quite a nice place to stay, but anyway, yeah, it looks amazing. So back there to the bridge, almost out of sight, and up there to Corfu and the Northern Ionian. So the goal today was to have a nice 3-hour run up the coast out towards the Ionian Sea, and we decided just to carry on a little bit because the place that we had planned on going to looked a tad boring, pretty bland. So there was a nice looking anchorage on a little island just off the coast, so we decided to have a look at that, and unfortunately got there and water was about 15 metres deep, and in the book it said you really need to tie off to the shore, and there just wasn't a lot of room in there, and we didn't really feel that confident being so isolated and doing that with just the two of us. So we went around the corner to this recommended bay, but again unfortunately there was a pretty strong norwesterly wind blowing straight into it, and the actual bay that was the best to anchor in had a fishing net right across it, so that kind of precluded that one, and the one that was, oh, here comes a good little wave, will give us a good bumper every 6 waves, we know about that. Here we go, get ready, here she goes, woohoo. Anyway, we just decided we weren't particularly happy about that, so in the end we've decided to jump over to the next island. They'll tell us off, won't they, ignoring those collision alerts. Yeah. So here's the island up here, Nikos Vathy, and we're going for a spot right at the southern end of it there, Sarakaniko, and that's got a good write up. Unfortunately it's quite choppy between the two islands getting up there, so we've added about another 2.5 hours to our trip, and getting a bit of a hammering coming across here, and we're not really used to that now. We've had a few days of really nice weather, so let's hope the anchorage up here is good. We're going to get in at about 7:30 at night, which is a bit later than what we really like, so backed ourselves into a little bit of a corner, but we had a couple of outs and we could have always turned around and gone back to where we were originally planning, but we decided we'd carry on. So yep, we're going to be tired tonight, get a good night's sleep, and then the run tomorrow, if we take it, is only about 1.5 hours, and that's to somewhere quite idyllic, and if we really love that, I think we'll sit there for 2 days and just have a bit of a relax, give the boat a bit of a wash, because she sure as heck is covered in salt now. So we had a pretty rough night last night, we backed ourselves into a corner a little bit, and you can see around here, just going through this very narrow stretch of water between a little island and the mainland, down to 5 metres deep, but it's well surveyed, so no issue there. Ton of fish in this bay. Man, the sonar was just going off last night. But anyway, just a very quick run today. Yesterday was a huge day, 11 hours motoring, way too much. Seas up to about probably 2 metres at the peak, so a little bit uncomfortable too. We're both pretty tired and we slept up on the pilot house. Anyway, more on that later, but today we're off to Vathy, another Vathy. There's Vathys all over the place in Greece. And it's only about an hour, and in fact we're going to be there. We've got 7 miles to go. We're going to be there at 9:44 and it's 8:40 in the morning on the 24th? 23rd of May. So basically got till the 3rd of June until we leave Greece. So yeah, the days are ticking by, but this is a beautiful part of the Ionian. So we're going to get into Vathy nice and early, get ourselves tied up on the dock, and that should give us a really good night's sleep tonight. Another fun day. Autopilot in. Every time I put it in at the moment, it goes into shadow drive. So I'll look into that a little bit. Normally it just engages. Now shadow drive.
And how were the bow thrusters today?
Oh yeah, yesterday the bow thrusters, you'd operate it and you'd get that absolute bite in, and then it would just almost be like the propeller disconnected and the motor was just running.
Or if it had a clutch, it felt like it was slipping up.
Yeah, if you had a clutch, it felt like, yeah, it was a weird thing. So we're just looking into that as well. So, but it works. You just got to let it off again and start again, and it does it. But I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't overheating. It wasn't. We hadn't run it long enough. But
and today?
Yeah, same. Oh no, today was good. Today was good. Yeah, there was no issue today.
And last night was all right up top?
No, we still got a little bit of slippage, if that's what it was.
Weird.
So here we are coming into the harbour at Vathy, and from everything we'd heard, it was just an amazing place to visit. So a little bit excited, especially after that 11-hour day previously. I mean, we really had sort of pushed ourselves a little bit there, and just a gentle reminder that, you know, the weather changes, and don't get lulled into a false sense of security by 5, 6, 7 days of calm weather, because it's so much more tiring when you're pounding into waves. And I know they're not that big, but you know, for us they were, but you're continually moving your body to try and counter it. So yeah, you get tired at the end of the day, and our options were starting to run out as we approached. Anyway, I thought today this is a really good opportunity for going over mid-mooring again. So this is us just coming into the harbour. We haven't been here before, so we're having a good look. We're talking about it. Fiona's been down. She's done all her job. She's got the fenders out. She's got the lines ready. We've got the secure plate off the top of the anchor. And we basically arrived where we think we're going to go. And if you look ahead here, you can see that cap that the nose is just coming up to, and to the right of that is a monohull. So we've decided we're going to try and park in there. So remember, they've got all their chains out, probably not quite as far as us, but not that far off it. So what I normally do is get myself absolutely perpendicular to it, and then with just, in this particular case, the port engine in idle forward, the starboard engine idle reverse, and then we just rotate around. So Fiona's gone down the back now. She's got a radio. We work off channel 6. We get ourselves lined up. Once we're happy we're lined up, you can see the wind coming in a little bit there from the port side of the boat. So we start dropping the anchor. And what we try and do is obviously take note of the depth. So let's say it's 5 metres. Once we sort of feel we've got 5 metres down, start backing up, put a little bit more out, get to about 20 metres, and you'll see it actually happens up here a little bit. I get to about 20 metres of chain out, and then stop reversing and just let the boat, stop being in reverse idle, so that it slows the reversing down, and just let the boat come up against the chain and the anchor, and that sets the anchor. You know then that you've basically got a secure load, and when you back in and you actually get to the pier, once the ropes are on, you can just bring a little bit of anchor chain in and you're sorted. And you probably notice here as I'm coming back, so I'm standing with my back to the controls, facing back. There you go, I think it just happened there. So that's the anchor nice and set now. So I'm standing with my back to the controls, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I'm slowly getting better and better at it. The problem is that when you instinctively want to do something, you tend to do the wrong thing, but practice and time will take that over. So you see the guy on the boat there off to the right hand side. I mean, that happens all the time. There's another guy on the pier, he's turning up to help. So people basically do everything they can to help you get on, and obviously, you know, he's interested in how close his boat is as well. So I try and come back at about a knot. Try not to get any quicker than that. And you find if you go quicker than that, the chain starts getting peeled off the windlass because the drag on it is more than what the windlass can stop. So we're just coming in nice here, and then Fiona will basically say 3 metres, 2 metres, and 1 metre. Now, when we're in the boat here, see how the flag's basically dropped when we're in between the boats? So obviously you're protected from the wind a little bit then, so it all gets a bit easier. You come to a halt, Fiona throws the line out to the pier on the windward side, so in this case on the port side of the boat, and I just focus on trying to keep the boat sitting in there and nice and settled. And at this point, it all gets pretty calm actually, because the boats on other sides have got their fenders out, we've got our fenders out. I can use the bow thruster, I can go forward idle, reverse idle, and using the bow thruster you can kind of walk left or right. So now we're set, I've been told the ropes are on, I've checked a little bit of anchor on, and we're good to go.
So what are you doing, Marky?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I am
What have we spent the morning doing?
cleaning.
Cleaning.
It's
great
Friday.
day. Fun though.
Yeah, it's good actually, and it's Friday.
Good
And it's
workout
just-
by the looks of it. You got your top off.
Yep,
And look, all these other boats have left us, Mark.
I know. It's amazing. Yeah.
We need to got the place to ourselves.
I got a bit of criticism today on my YouTube.
Oh, how come?
Well, Event Finder in New Zealand wanted a YouTube connection for a video to put Blossom Valley up for this year.
Right.
So the only way I could work out to get the URL to do that was to put it up on the Awanui site.
Right.
And then I just, you know, said to people that questioned it, I'll go back and have a look at the video on Blossom Valley and it'll all be explained. But a couple of people have come back and saying, hang on, we've seen this before, you know, don't repeat videos. And they're right. So once Event Finder's got it, I'll delete it. But I just had to get it up there, and I tried to do it private. And if you do it private, then they can't access it to take the URL. So I'd have to start a new YouTube account if I wanted to. No,
That's
I can't.
okay.
I really cannot be bothered doing that. Okay, so some more drone footage here. I'm going to put some music with it. Promise it won't be the Greek stuff this time. Tell me what you think. And what's below the boat today? So this was our mission today, Vathy through to Fiscardo on the next island, and just a gorgeous day, flat calm. We never got past Kioni. And you can release the other rope when you're ready, sweetie. Right, she's letting both ropes off the back. It's all very calm. We just bloody sit here and wait for the ropes to come in. Okay, just bring a little bit of anchor in there. We're just moving off slowly.
Heading up the front. Copy.
Okay, perfect, sweetie. We're going straight down, sweetie. So we're doing 0.6 knots forward. And then the idea is just to stay above the anchor so the windlass isn't dragging the anchor in. All along the waterfront, you know, like there'd be 20, there'd be, what do you reckon there are, sweetie? 30 restaurants?
Yeah.
There's probably 30. I'm just going to go forward now.
Oh, that is gorgeous, mate. Gee, that's nice. Man, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Oh,
Is the water warm?
About 20.
You go for a swim?
I haven't here, but once we get to the islands I will. And leaving Vathy was the start of what was to become 7, 8, 9, 10 days of beautiful weather. That cat we just went past, they were filming us from right behind with a drone. And check that out when you see it, because it was pretty cool footage. Anyway, as I said earlier, Vathy to Fiscardo was the plan today, but we went past this bay, the little town of Kioni, and we just could not resist it. Nope, they're not turrets, not castles. Windmills used to be up there for grinding wheat into flour. The area was famous for it. More drone footage coming. Well, this is quite entertaining. That big boat came in with a whole lot of people on it and basically muscled his way in on this other yacht beside him, and there was a pretty flowery altercation between the two skippers. Essentially, he wanted the yacht to move over. It's a Juno 57, a couple of metres, and this guy was not interested in moving over. Anyway, bit of shouting backwards and forwards, and finally he agreed to move over, but he's not a happy chappy. But that big boat that came in, he is so clever. He put his bow about 100 metres to his starboard from where he is now, and then he dropped the anchor out there and let the anchor out, and that effectively allowed him to have a lock from out in the bay that would stop his bow swinging around if the wind blew from the south onto the yacht. And then he backed up, and when he started going straight behind him back onto the quay side, he dropped his other anchor. So he's locked from going backwards, he's locked from going back out there, and he's locked for drifting further this way. It was pretty blinking clever. And then just backed in nicely, they've tied off to the quay side, and now people can come off and on. Anyway, we are going to Lizzie's. Very, very nice little bar, restaurant beside the water here. Oh, there's Mrs. R. She's come over, and you can just see at the end here, apparently you just walk down there and you can go for a swim. Whoop. No, it's not. It's over there. It's pretty cool. Here we are at a very, very nice bar.
Sorry, can we just go back? You were just saying about people then complaining. But
You can tell we're from Melbourne.
yeah.
You'll freeze your nuts off, mate.
But you've said on it that you like the advice you get from people, and you've been taking them up on the advice. So obviously you don't like the advice about the wind.
I like the positive advice.
I see. So
We have to use the mics. We absolutely have to use the mics. And it's just one of those things, once we actually use them, it'll be like a milestone. Well, we can't give them all their milestones at one go, can we? So, anyway.
Yeah, because we do have them.
I know, we've got the bloody mics. Anyway.
I'll make it my effort, my mission to get Mark to use it in the
Okay.
next one. How's that?
Yeah. Anyway, it is a lovely bar, look. We're just sitting here and having a drink in the afternoon and head off tomorrow to Fiscado.
Yeah, you've got it.
Fiscado, that's it. Cute place apparently. If we loved Poros, Fiscado apparently is going to blow my mind. So anyway, this little marina here is just, the quayside is chocker with Australians, Kiwis and a few Poms.
Just one.
Mrs. R takes her first swim. Find out why. Is it nice and warm?
At least I got my lovely sexy shoes.
And Mark follows suit to check on what she's been up to. Right, we'll check Mrs. R's work. And I'll tell you what,